It was late at night, and I was stuck in traffic on the highway. The navigation said it would take almost 2 hours just to get past the bridge construction ahead. I sighed and rubbed my stiff neck. My 2 dogs sat in the passenger seat, De Huang, a yellow dog with a white face, and Er Hei, a black one. De Huang kept nudging my arm like he was trying to comfort me. Er Hei stared out the window, ears twitching at every little sound. In the back seat, 5 puppies were fast asleep. These 7 dogs were everything I had. I grew up alone in the countryside, and dogs were always my closest friends. I used to own a pet shop, but it went bankrupt. I sold almost everything to pay off my debts, but I could never give up my dogs. Since the traffic wasn't moving, I pulled out some sausages and fed De Huang and Er Hei. They were tired and hungry after the long drive. De Huang grabbed the first one, and Er Hei growled, jealous as always. I laughed and gave him one too. Those 2 had been rivals since they were puppies, always competing. In the end, De Huang won and became the leader of the pack. I ate a piece of bread myself and waited. The jam dragged on and on. I figured we'd be stuck here until morning. Then something strange happened. People outside started shouting about 3 blood-red moons in the sky. I rolled down my window and saw everything soaked in a deep crimson light. It passed through walls, through cars, even into the ground. I felt scared. Was this some kind of radiation? My head started to feel cold and itchy. Then a cold voice echoed inside my mind. The Blue Star Apocalypse survival game is now active. My consciousness was pulled upward, like I was looking down on the whole world from above. I saw the red moon covering the planet, twisted shadows, and mysterious flames burning in the darkness. My head throbbed with pain, and I blacked out. When I woke up, De Huang and Er Hei were tugging at my sleeve, whining softly. I patted their heads and told them I was okay. It was already 4 in the morning. The information in my head slowly became clear. The world had changed. Strange disasters had arrived, and we all had to survive until the threats were destroyed. Normal weapons wouldn't work. The only power we could rely on was something called an extraordinary sequence, and I was one of the first people to awaken one. I felt both relieved and afraid. The world's order would soon fall apart, and the biggest danger might not be the disasters. It might be other people. I checked my new power. A panel appeared in my mind. My sequence was called God of Hounds, rated SSS, the highest rank. It gave me 3 abilities. I could form bonds with dogs as companions, store them in a special dimensional space, and evolve them using points I earned each midnight. I had 1 point already. It was a perfect match for me and my dogs. I looked at De Huang and Er Hei, trying to decide who to contract first. The puppies were too young. Between my 2 adults, both were loyal, so the success rate wasn't a problem. But I only had 1 evolution point. If I picked Er Hei first, he'd try to challenge De Huang for the leader spot and cause trouble. So I decided to respect the way things already were and chose De Huang first. I patted De Huang's head and told him not to worry. Then I activated the contract ability. Invisible energy spread through the car. My willpower reached into De Huang's mind like a chain, forming a mark inside. De Huang barked nervously and tucked his tail, but when I sent him my thoughts, "Don't be afraid, it's me," he calmed down. After 2 or 3 minutes, it was done. I felt a new connection between us, like a bridge linking our minds. It was like going from talking to a baby to talking to a child who could already understand things. I smiled, and De Huang happily licked my hand. I checked his stats. Constitution 0.7, Spirit 0.6, both unranked. Not great, but I expected that. Village dogs are naturally weaker than humans. But with evolution points, De Huang had real potential. Er Hei growled jealously when he saw how close De Huang and I had become. I laughed and told him his turn was coming. I decided to bond with everyone before evolving De Huang. Er Hei's contract took less than a minute. He didn't want to lose to De Huang, so he barely resisted at all. Then I bonded with the 5 puppies and placed them into the kennel. The kennel cut their energy needs down to 1/10, which was a huge relief for my supplies. The only downside was that it could only store pets, nothing else. Now it was time to test the evolution ability. I used my 1 evolution point on De Huang. A small white light flew from my body into him. His fur started glowing, his bones grew, and his coat became shinier. Through our bond, I could feel his mental power rising fast. I even felt a small boost in my own strength. After about 10 minutes, The glow faded. De Huang looked mostly the same, just bigger and stronger. But his stats had jumped. Spirit went from 0.6 all the way to 4.8. And he had awakened a sequence called Fortune Treasure, with an ability called Light of Fortune. It could upgrade items of F rank or below, with a 3-day cooldown after each use. I was thrilled. A rare ability on the very first evolution, and such a useful one too. I thought of 2 plans. First, I could try upgrading my pickup truck into a shelter, stronger body, tougher windows. Second, I had a toy gun in the car meant for my nephew. I could upgrade that into a real weapon. I liked the truck idea better, so I tried that first. De Huang stood up, looking serious, and a golden light spread from the window across the truck's body. But halfway through, the light started flickering. De Huang's legs trembled, and he growled, struggling to hold on. I knew it was too much for him. Forcing it could hurt him and would probably fail anyway. I told him to stop and hugged him until he caught his breath. Then I grabbed the toy gun from the back seat, a black plastic pistol with 100 bullets. I didn't need it to become a real gun with complex parts and special materials. I just wanted it to hit hard while staying tough enough not to break. De Huang tried again. This time it went smoothly. In about 4 or 5 minutes, the toy gun transformed into a steel ball gun. Attack power 6.4, F rank, strong enough to seriously hurt an ordinary person. Not very accurate, but good enough. Holding that gun, I finally felt a little safer. I loaded the bullets, then gently put the tired De Huang back into the kennel. I called out Er Hei and got ready to face the first day of the end of the world. Er Hei's barking woke me up at 6 in the morning, the first day of the blood moon. I grabbed my steel ball gun and looked around. No one was near my truck. People were starting to wake up all along the highway. I stayed in the car, watching and listening. My main goal was to survive and find a way back home to my family. But then terrible news spread through the crowd. The bridge ahead had collapsed. Some people were already walking back toward a service area 40 kilometers behind us. I was stuck. I couldn't drive forward. If I stayed in the truck, I'd stand out and attract trouble. But if I walked, I couldn't carry all my supplies. Er Hei barked again, looking at me with nervous eyes. I asked him if there was danger nearby. He nodded quickly. I tensed up and started scanning around. Then I heard glass shatter up ahead. A group of young guys with dyed yellow hair were smashing a car window with metal pipes. Their leader, a guy named Kai Kuan, was yelling at a family of 3 inside, demanding their food. He called his group the Killing God Squad and started telling everyone on the highway to hand over their supplies and join them. One of his guys even claimed Kai Kuan had awakened a special power. I doubted that. If he really had power, he would have shown it off already. Still, the squad grew fast. Someone traded half a pack of cigarettes to join and got a piece of bread in return. That was all it took. In just a few minutes, the group went from 5 people to 40 or 50. Once they ran out of supplies to share, they started robbing others. The highway turned into chaos. People were getting beaten. A mother begged them not to take her baby's milk powder, but they didn't care. The more they stole together, the bolder they got. I watched from my car, but didn't act. I didn't like these people, but I also didn't feel the need to play hero. With my steel ball gun, I wasn't worried about them coming at me directly. What really had my attention was Er Hei. He was getting more and more restless, barking, scratching at the door, begging me to leave. Then I remembered an old folk legend. Er Hei was a black dog with 5 dark markings. According to tradition, dogs like him could sense evil and dark energies. Under this blood-red moon, with strange disasters appearing everywhere, Er Hei's fear probably wasn't about the thugs outside. It was something unnatural. A chill ran through me. I didn't waste any more time. I threw on my backpack and got out of the truck with Er Hei. But before I could take more than a few steps, a loud voice called out behind me. "Hey, brother, that bag looks heavy. How about we help you lighten the load?" The pockmarked guy and a few others blocked my path, eyeing my backpack with greedy looks. "Get out of my way," I said calmly, slipping my hand into my jacket. He didn't listen. He called me out and swung a metal pipe at me. So I pulled the trigger. The gunshot echoed across the highway. The pockmarked man screamed and fell to the ground, clutching his bleeding hand. Everyone around froze. My hands were numb from the recoil, and I felt sick looking at what the gun had done. It hit almost like a sniper rifle. De Huang really didn't hold back when he upgraded it. Kai Kuan showed up with 3 more guys and surrounded me. I could tell he was scared but trying not to show it. He offered to make me vice captain if I joined his squad. I pointed the gun at him and told him to step aside. Er Hei barked urgently. I didn't waste another second. I backed out of their circle with the gun raised, and they let me go. No one dared to stop me. After I left, a lot of other people got brave enough to pack up and follow. Kai Kuan lost some followers, but he still had plenty of supplies and loyal members. The walk back was long. By nightfall, I had covered more than 10 kilometers. The highway was full of violent groups every few hundred meters, just like Kai Kuan's crew. I fired a few warning shots to scare them off, and word spread that I was armed. That made things easier. About a dozen strangers started following behind me. I didn't mind, but I kept my distance. We stopped for the night and lit a campfire on some open ground. Traveling in the dark was too dangerous now. It was a quiet night. I found a dark corner and secretly let the puppies out of the kennel to feed them. De Huang had recovered after resting all day, but I kept Er Hei on guard duty. He was still the best watchdog, especially at night. I felt bad making him work after walking all day, so I tossed him one of my last sausages. He caught it midair and tore it open happily. I patted his head and heated up a self-cooking meal for my own dinner. Meanwhile, Kai Kuan's group was camped at their own bonfire somewhere behind me. They had gathered even more supplies and recruited new members on the way back. One recruit stood out, a young man who had survived the bridge collapse by falling into the river and swimming to shore. His face was pale, his clothes soaked, and he smelled like river water. But he was strong and fearless during raids. He never asked for food, only water. Every time, he demanded water first. Then something terrible happened at their campfire. The young man suddenly rushed into the fire, grabbed a pot of boiling water, and poured it straight into his mouth. The scalding liquid burned his lips and neck white, but he didn't seem to feel any pain. He drank the whole pot and still wasn't satisfied. He turned to the others, his voice cold and hoarse. Water. Give me water. Back at Kai Kuan's campfire, things had gone horribly wrong. The young man they'd recruited, the one who fell in the river, wasn't human anymore. When Motzi hit him with a steel pipe, his skin tore open and revealed hundreds of fish egg-like things wriggling inside him. Lizzie screamed that he was an E-level strange water jelly, some kind of monster from the system's warnings. The creature grabbed Motzi, bit into his neck, and drained him completely. Then one of the eggs inside it burst open, and a thing like a water monkey crawled out and grew to the size of an adult. It attacked another squad member, choking him with invisible force, and turned him into another water monkey too. Within minutes, the whole Killing God squad was wiped out. Kai Kuan and Lizzie had already fled on a stolen motorcycle. The jellyfish creature led its army of water monkeys down the highway, chasing survivors. The whole road filled with terror. I was asleep by our campfire when Er Hei shook me awake. Through our bond, I could feel his panic, stronger than anything before. Something bad is coming, I whispered. I grabbed my backpack and followed Er Hei into the darkness. Some of the people in our group complained about me leaving, but I didn't care. Er Hei's instincts had never been wrong. He ran faster and faster, almost at full speed. Then he turned and barked a warning. I gripped my gun tight. A motorcycle headlight appeared behind me. It was Kai Kuan and Lizzie, speeding down the highway with the creature chasing them. When Lizzie spotted me, I heard him say they were saved. They planned to leave me behind as bait for the monster. They charged straight at me. I fired a shot, but missed. The gun wasn't accurate enough to hit a moving target in the dark. Kai Kuan flinched at the sound, but kept coming. Lizzie swung a steel pipe at my face. I couldn't dodge in time. Er Hei jumped in front of me and took the blow. The jagged edge of the pipe tore into his body, and the force sent him flying. He let out a sharp, painful cry. Er Hei, I screamed. I caught him in my arms and crashed to the ground. Lizzie laughed and mocked me as they sped away. I didn't even hear him. All I could see was Er Hei bleeding in my arms. His breathing was weak, but his eyes stayed on me, whimpering softly like he was still worried about me instead of himself. I was shaking. Guilt and rage burned inside me. I whispered their names, Kai Kuan, Lizzie, and carved them into my memory. For every drop of Er Hei's blood, I would make them pay. But first I had to save him. I remembered how De Huang's body had healed and strengthened during evolution. If I could get an evolution point, Er Hei might survive. I checked my phone. It was 11:17. Evolution points came at midnight, 43 minutes away. Er Hei just had to hold on. Then I remembered the bus driver back at the campfire had a first aid kit. I held Er Hei tight against my chest and ran back toward the fire. Somewhere in the darkness behind me, a twisted shadow was hunting for its next prey. The night was freezing, but my chest burned like fire. I had been running at full speed, and my breathing was ragged. But I couldn't stop. Er Hei was dying in my arms. His body was getting colder, his breathing weaker. I took off my jacket and wrapped him in it. Then I dropped my backpack with all my remaining supplies. I couldn't carry both. I picked Er Hei up and ran again, shouting his name, begging him to keep his eyes open. Up ahead, I saw campfires flickering, but people were screaming and running everywhere. The water spirit had reached them. Cries for help filled the night. Mothers calling for children, friends abandoning each other. I pushed through the chaos and grabbed the bus driver. He tried to pull away, panicking about the monster behind him. I asked for his first aid kit. He got angry. In the apocalypse, medicine was more valuable than food, and here I was trying to save a dog. But when he saw my gun and recognized me, he calmed down a little. He wanted to trade. I realized I had nothing. I'd thrown my backpack away. Think of it as me owing you a favor, I said, waving the gun slightly. I felt bad about it, but I had no choice. A scream nearby made him jump. The strange creature was close. He threw the kit on the ground and ran, but the water spirit cut him off, pushing him right back to me. I laid Er Hei down by the campfire and started cleaning his wounds with gauze, saline, and iodine. The bus driver was shaking behind me. Have you learned emergency treatment? I asked calmly. He said yes. Take care of his wounds. Leave the rest to me. I called De Huang out of the kennel. When he saw Er Hei lying there bleeding, he growled and bared his teeth at the water spirit nearby. I stopped him and told him to watch over Er Hei and the bus driver instead. The driver's eyes went wide when he saw De Huang appear from nowhere. He realized I was a sequencer, and suddenly he was eager to help. I turned to face the water spirit alone. I knew what I was dealing with. Strange disasters came in two types: natural calamities that destroyed the environment, and the eerie, which attacked the mind and killed without being seen. The water monkey was an eerie, born from the water jellyfish. It was F-level, the lowest rank, but still dangerous. It wrapped around its target and used mental energy to suffocate them, like drowning on dry land. Physical attacks couldn't hurt it. I had two advantages. First, my mental strength was far above average after awakening my sequence. Second, tonight there was no moon. The blood moon followed a monthly cycle, and right now its power was at its weakest. That meant the eerie was also at its weakest. The creature, the one that had been Matsi, drifted toward me and recognized my face. It lunged. I didn't dodge. My plan was to hold it off with my body and willpower until midnight, when I'd get a new evolution point. If I could evolve Er Hei in time, he might gain the power to fight this thing. Based on everything I knew about Er Hei, his sensitivity to dark energy, his black fur with 5 markings, I was betting his evolution would give him exactly the abilities we needed. The creature wrapped itself around me. Cold, dark energy seeped through my clothes. It climbed onto my back like a monkey and squeezed my neck. I fired a shot behind me, but the bullet passed straight through its body. It hissed, almost laughing, and squeezed harder. My vision went dark. My ears buzzed. I tried to push back with my mental power, but it barely helped. Time crawled by. The pressure on my throat was unbearable. I collapsed to the ground, almost blacking out. Then a cold voice echoed in my mind. Congratulations for surviving the first day. You have gained 1 evolution point. A suitable target has been detected, De Huang or Er Hei. Would you like to choose one for evolution? Choose Er Hei. Evolve, I screamed inside my mind. I had been holding off the water monster for nearly half an hour. My mental energy was almost gone. I was at my limit. A ball of white light floated out of my body and entered Er Hei by the campfire. The bus driver had stabilized his breathing, and now the white light covered him completely. His wound healed fast. The bleeding stopped, new flesh grew, and fur covered the scar. But Er Hei didn't just heal. He transformed. His limbs grew longer and more powerful. His face and neck became slimmer. He looked nothing like an ordinary village dog anymore. And on his forehead, a golden mark appeared, shaped like a closed vertical eye, radiating fierce, destructive energy. He was a dual-type fighter, growing stronger in both body and mind at the same time. Through our bond, I felt my own strength and senses improving too. My exhausted mental power started coming back. The creature on my back felt it too. It began trembling. Er Hei was its natural enemy. The evolution lasted only 3 minutes. When the light faded, Er Hei stood tall with sleek black fur, powerful legs, and that golden mark glowing on his forehead. His new sequence was called Evil Suppressor, with an ability called Heavenly Thunder, absolute power over strange and evil beings. Er Hei didn't waste a second. His shadow appeared beside me before I could even react. He leaped onto the creature's back and bit down hard. Golden sparks flickered on his fangs. He tore through the monster's body like it was nothing. The creature screamed, a sound that came from deep in its soul. It let go of my neck and fled in panic. I finally caught my breath. Er Hei landed nearby, eyes still locked on his prey. He crouched low, legs coiled like a drawn bow, and shot forward like an arrow. He closed 10 meters in an instant, bit through the creature's chest, and it vanished like smoke. One clean kill. I hugged Er Hei tight and rubbed his head. He pressed against my chest happily, then turned to De Huang and wagged his tail proudly, practically pointing it at the sky. He was much stronger now, and he wanted De Huang to know it. De Huang stayed calm, but I could sense a quiet desire growing in him. He wanted to get stronger too. Then Er Hei spat something into my hand, a small bead, about the size of a longan seed. The system told me it was a strange bead, containing the essence of the water creature. It could be used to craft special tools for fighting supernatural beings. De Huang came over, clearly interested. Through our bond, I understood. He could refine the bead right now, even though his upgrade ability was still on cooldown. He had some kind of hidden talent. I checked with Er Hei, who didn't care at all. He was too happy about his new power to worry about a bead. I gave it to De Huang. He bit down, a yellow light flashed, and the bead disappeared. The golden energy inside him started moving on its own, refining it. So many surprises in one night. The bus driver, Yang Dajuan, as I later learned, nervously asked what we should do next. I told him we were staying put for the night. De Huang was busy refining. Er Hei was exhausted, and the puppies couldn't travel. Er Hei's senses told me there were no more strange creatures nearby. Yang Dajuan was anxious, but I assured him Er Hei could handle anything that showed up. Then I remembered I owed him for the first aid kit. I told him to name his price. He thought carefully for a long time. Finally he said, "My name is Yang Dajuan. Please take me to the service area and give me some food." I respected that. He could have asked for much more, but he knew his place and didn't push his luck. That took real wisdom. "My name is Qi Zhan," I said. "Deal." His face lit up, and we talked late into the night. That was how I survived my first night at the end of the world. I woke up at 6 in the morning to my phone alarm. My eyes were bloodshot. I'd barely slept. Without shelter in the freezing winter, I kept waking up from the cold. All I had left were the clothes on my back, my phone, and the steel ball gun. I didn't even have food anymore. Yang Dajuan was already awake. He offered me bread and chocolate, but I turned him down. I didn't want to owe more favors. Then he pulled out a can of braised beef and put it in front of Er Hei, saying the dog had dark circles from staying up all night. The smell made Er Hei drool. He looked at me hopefully, and I gave in. "Uncle Dajuan, don't regret this later," I warned him. He smiled and told me to let De Huang out too. So I did, and I let out all 5 puppies as well. They appeared out of nowhere, running around me, barking hungrily. Dajuan's face froze for a second. Then he gritted his teeth, dumped his entire backpack of food on the ground, and fed everyone. By the time we were done, he had almost nothing left. I thanked him sincerely. He waved it off and said I'd saved his life. Then he asked if the dogs were for sale. I said no. He laughed awkwardly and kept playing with the puppies. While everyone ate, I thought about our situation. After 2 evolutions, my physique had reached 1.7 and my mental power was 6.1. De Huang's mental power was 4.8, and he seemed to have gained something from refining the strange bead. Er Hei was the strongest fighter with his evil suppressor sequence. We could protect ourselves now. I came up with a shift plan. De Huang and Er Hei would take turns on guard duty, each paired with a puppy to help the younger ones get used to danger. I announced the plan to the dogs. 3 Flowers took it calmly, but 4 Eyes whimpered. He was too scared to stand guard at night. I agreed to let him work the day shift with De Huang instead. Then I tested De Huang's new ability. After refining the strange bead, he could control it with his mind, launching it through the air like a bullet. I told him to attack me so I could see its power. The bead flew at me almost as fast as a gunshot. I blocked it, but it left a red mark on my arm and briefly dazed me with a mental attack. If De Huang used full strength, it could kill an ordinary person in one hit. And unlike a bullet, the bead could be used over and over, appearing and disappearing at will. De Huang had been quiet around Er Hei lately, but now I understood. He'd been hiding impressive power of his own. We set out to look for supplies. Me, De Huang, Four Eyes, and Yang Dajuan. The highway was a scene of total destruction. Damaged cars, broken glass, and frozen corpses everywhere. Men, women, children, all victims of the water monkeys. Dajuan cursed and his eyes turned red, thinking about his family far away. I felt the same worry about my parents, but survival came first. De Huang found a sealed car trunk. I shot the lock open with my gun. Inside was a jackpot, 2 suitcases, a big outdoor backpack, 2 boxes of nuts, and half a case of water. I packed everything useful and shared some with Dajuan. We searched for another half hour and found more bread, sausages, instant noodles, and water. It was enough to keep us going. Other survivors started appearing around us, forming a large group heading toward the service area. I watched them carefully. The water jellyfish and its water monkeys could be hiding among them, waiting for nightfall. Without Er Hei awake to sense danger, I couldn't be sure who was safe. I wanted to move fast and get ahead, but Dajuan couldn't keep up at my pace. So I decided to blend into the crowd instead. Stay close to me, I whispered to Dajuan as we started walking. Don't get near strangers. There's something strange hiding in this crowd. What? He shouted, making everyone around us turn and stare. I kept my face calm, grabbed his arm, and pulled him forward. Xiaozhen, are there really strange things around? Dajuan asked, his voice shaking. I didn't answer directly. Instead, I told him to look around and tell me what he noticed. He scanned the crowd. Over 1,000 people stretched out in a line 2 or 300 meters long. We were near the front. Most of the people up here were young and alert, keeping their distance from each other. They're always watching their surroundings, Dajuan guessed. That's right. These are the smart ones, I said. Then I explained what the system had told us. The strange jellyfish and water monkeys could possess living people and hide inside them. The target didn't even have to be dead. Dajuan's face went pale. He wanted to let Er Hei out right away, or leave the group entirely. I told him no. Er Hei had barely rested, and if the jellyfish was hiding in the crowd, a few of us couldn't face it alone. And if we tried to run ahead, I could keep up, but could he? He went quiet, embarrassed. Just tell me what to do, he said. Stay close to me and De Huang. Keep your distance from strangers. And don't fall behind. By noon, the group stopped to rest and eat. Dajuan and I had slipped to the middle of the line. His back problems from years of driving slowed him down, but at least we weren't at the rear. I was sure the concentration of hidden monsters back there was dozens of times higher than up front. As long as we stayed in the middle and had Er Hei's help at night, we had a good chance. I fed myself some nuts and gave some to De Huang and Four Eyes. Then trouble found us. A young couple nearby was resting. The woman, Chun Huan, wore heavy makeup and kept bossing around her boyfriend, Wang Chao. He carried all their luggage, massaged her legs, and took every insult she threw at him. Then she spotted Four Eyes sitting next to me. Brother Chao, look at that cute little dog. Go ask for it. If I had a dog to keep me company, I could walk much faster. Wang Chao tried to explain they didn't have enough food, but she didn't care. She said if he wouldn't get the dog, he didn't love her anymore. So he walked over nervously and offered to trade food for Four Eyes. Four Eyes hid in my arms and barked angrily. Get lost, I said without even looking at him. He went back to Chun Huan and got scolded again. My enhanced senses let me hear every word. She called him useless and said if he didn't steal the dog tonight, she'd leave him for another man. Wang Chao panicked and promised to get Four Eyes after dark. I frowned. When he came to trade earlier, I ignored them to avoid trouble. But now they were planning to steal my dog? That crossed a line. I signaled Dajuan and De Huang, placed Four Eyes safely beside De Huang, and walked toward the two of them. I walked over to the couple calmly. My eyes were cold. Do you want to trade my dog? I asked, staring at the woman. Chun Huan tried to act sweet. She suggested we team up. Wang Chao jumped in and opened his backpack, offering whatever I wanted. I told them if they wanted to trade, they could trade their lives. I pulled out the steel ball gun and pointed it at Chun Huan. She screamed. Wang Chao lunged at me. I kicked him to the ground, then fired. The bullet hit Chun Huan in the chest, and she fell. Wang Chao crawled to her, crying. I looked at him and said quietly, "Brother, next time, don't be so eager to please." Then I fired again. I picked up their luggage, walked back to my spot, and handed everything to Dajuan. His hands were shaking. This was the first time he'd seen me kill. I sat down and wiped the blood off my clothes. It was my first time killing someone too. I felt a little sick inside, but I pushed the feeling down. My rule was simple, an eye for an eye. If someone came for me or my dogs, I destroy them first. The march continued. The group slowly split into three, a front group of fast young people, a middle group, and a rear group. Dajuan and I ended up leading the middle group. Without meaning to, I'd become a kind of invisible leader. People feared me because of the gun, but they also respected how decisive I was. Whenever I stopped to let Dajuan rest, 400 or 500 people stopped with me. That worried me. More people meant more chances for water monkeys to hide among them. And now everyone watched my every move, which ruined my original plan. I had wanted to wait for nightfall, use the crowd as a distraction, and escape with Dajuan while Er Hei and De Huang covered us. So I changed my plan. Instead of running, I'd take the fight to the water monkeys before dark. I sensed through our bond that Er Hei was fully rested. I called him out. When the crowd saw a large black dog with a golden eye mark on its forehead appear from nowhere, people gasped. They realized I was really a sequencer. I gave Er Hei the order, find every water monkey hidden in the crowd. He started scanning. 1, 2, 86. There were 86 water monkeys hiding among us. Almost one for every 5 people. My heart raced. I sent De Huang in first. He launched the strange bead at a possessed man's forehead. The man screamed, and a shadow rose from behind him. A water monkey, forced out by the bead's mental attack. People panicked, but I fired a shot into the sky and shouted for everyone to hold formation and keep moving. Er Hei rushed in and killed the water monkey with one bite through the chest. It all happened in seconds. The crowd was shocked, then amazed. People started saying there was hope now. Some even organized themselves to keep order. I let out a quiet breath of relief. De Huang and Er Hei worked together, clearing water monkeys one by one as we moved. We collected more than 10 strange beads. Everything was going smoothly. Then night fell. A blood-red crescent moon rose in the sky. The remaining water monkeys suddenly burst out of their hosts all at once. And from the rear of the group, a dark aura crossed nearly a kilometer and locked onto me. The water jellyfish mother had found me. The strange event has erupted. Run, someone screamed, and the crowd shattered into chaos. People scattered in every direction. But the water monkeys didn't chase randomly this time. Every single one of them fixed their eyes on me and started closing in. I stared back at them coldly. De Huang and Er Hei pressed close to me and Dajuan, ready to fight. The crescent moon hung in the sky, glowing blood red. The water monkeys grew stronger under it, about 10% faster with more mental power. Over 30 of them surrounded us. Dajuan stood still, trying not to get in the way. Er Hei killed one quickly, but I didn't feel any relief. Through our bond, I knew hundreds more water monkeys were rushing toward us from behind, near the water mother. That was her terrifying power. As long as there were corpses, she could create endless water monkeys. If they surrounded us completely, they'd wear us down and kill us. We had to break out fast. I looked at Er Hei. He was our only real weapon. His evil suppressor sequence had 2 ways to use lightning. One was coating his claws and teeth with it for close combat. But there was another way, through the golden eye on his forehead. Er Hei stood calmly beside me and started gathering all his lightning power into that golden mark. The energy built up, growing fiercer and more concentrated. The water monkeys sensed it and charged at him. I ordered De Huang to use the strange bead to block them, but it wasn't enough. Over 10 water monkeys reached us and wrapped around our bodies. 3 clung to me, 2 to De Huang and Dajuan, and 5 to Er Hei. The suffocating feeling hit me again. Dajuan's face turned red. He was choking badly. Then Er Hei barked. He was ready. His golden eye flashed open, and a tiny golden lightning bolt shot out. It flew above our heads and exploded into a fine golden net that wrapped around everything nearby. When the lightning touched the water monkeys, it cut through them like wire through butter. They screamed and struggled, but the net sliced them apart. Over 10 water monkeys burst into pieces, dropping strange beads on the ground. The heavenly, I divine thunder. An aerial attack with massive power. But it drained Er Hei completely. His mental energy was nearly gone after just one use. Quick, Uncle Dajuan. Let's go. I grabbed the strange beads, took Dajuan's backpack and hung it on my chest, then pulled him by the arm and ran. Behind us, the Water Mother was raging. Nearly the entire rear group, 300 or 400 people, was dead. She grabbed a survivor, tore off his head, and drank his blood. Then she sent her water monkeys forward after us. We ran all night. Since Dajuan had no luggage to carry, we caught up with the rest of the crowd. The water monkeys kept chasing, so we didn't dare stop. We ran until dawn, when they finally slowed down. I'm done, Xiaozhen. Dajuan collapsed on the ground like a pile of mud. I can't run anymore. After a full day of walking and a night of running, we'd covered almost 20 kilometers. The service area was less than 10 away. I wanted to push through and reach it tonight. There would be supplies, people, maybe even other sequencers who could help fight the Water Mother. And with a vehicle, we could finally stop walking. But Dajuan was finished. I had to let him rest. Once we reached the service area, we'd part ways anyway. I sat down and took stock. We were relatively safe for now. The water monkeys were 4 or 5 kilometers behind, about 20 or 30 minutes away. During the night's retreat, I'd killed over 100 water monkeys and collected 53 strange beads. Adding the one from before, I had 54. Once De Huang refined those, his attack power would jump dramatically. And midnight was almost here. One more evolution point was coming. At midnight, the system chimed. I'd survived the second day and earned another evolution point. I chose to evolve 3 flowers. She was a small flower-patterned dog, white with yellow-black markings. Calm and elegant, like she already knew what was coming. When the white light covered her, something unexpected happened. Instead of growing bigger, she got smaller and more delicate. Her body shrank to 2/3 its original size. Her limbs became slender, and her features refined, like a sculptor carefully carving away everything unnecessary. Her sequence was called Wisdom, with an ability called Fate Guidance. She could sense the direction of destiny. In the apocalypse, knowing which path to take and which dangers to avoid was priceless. Without me even asking, 3 flowers used her ability for the first time. She sent me a clear message through our bond. The strange beads were an important opportunity for De Huang. I trusted her completely. I pulled out all 53 beads and gave them to De Huang. He hesitated at first, not wanting to leave his guard post, but I told him Er Hei would cover. He took the beads and started refining them, golden light glowing around him. I put him back in the kennel to work. It was past midnight. The water jellyfish was catching up. I woke Dajuan, and we kept moving through the dark. Er Hei led the way, and 3 flowers rode on my backpack with her head on my shoulder. She was too small and fragile to walk, but I needed her awake for her fate-guiding ability. We walked until dawn without any attacks. By noon on the 3rd day, we were less than a kilometer from the service area. De Huang had finished refining all 54 beads, and his combat power had jumped enormously. Then a wall of trucks blocked our path, and a familiar voice shouted at the crowd to stop. Kai Kuan. Killing intent surged through me. He and Lizzie stood behind the barrier with weapons, claiming the service area belonged to something called the Hanyang Convoy. They demanded everyone hand over supplies and submit to a search. The crowd of hundreds was furious. We'd survived days of walking, water monkeys, freezing nights, and now these thugs blocked our way? A young man cursed and charged at them with a baton, and others followed. I stayed hidden behind Dajuan, eyes locked on Kai Kuan and Lizzie. I whispered to De Huang, use everything, tear them apart. The moment they were distracted, De Huang struck. A flash of yellow light, and 54 strange beads rained down like shotgun pellets. Kai Kuan and Lizzie were hit with a massive mental blast and frozen in place. The beads tore through their bodies. I fired 2 more shots at their heads. Kai Kuan's skull exploded. Lizzie got lucky. The bullet only grazed his scalp. I pulled the trigger again to finish Lizzie, but a muscular, shirtless man burst through the gap and caught my bullet in his bare hand. His skin barely tore. His physical strength was way above normal. Step aside. I only want that yellow-haired guy, I shouted, firing again. De Huang launched the beads at Lizzie too. But then an ice wall appeared from behind the trucks. Another sequencer, a middle-aged man in a suit with gold-rimmed glasses. He blocked De Huang's beads while the muscular guy stopped my bullets. 2 sequencers protecting Lizzie. I couldn't break through both. Fine. I'd let the fool live a little longer. The suited man tried to smooth things over. He asked Lizzie about our grudge. Lizzie lied through his teeth, saying I tried to steal their motorcycle and they'd just defended themselves. I didn't bother correcting him. I never needed anyone else's approval. The suited man made Lizzie apologize. The coward stuttered out a sorry. I stared at him coldly and felt nothing. Then the suited man addressed the crowd. He said the Hanyang convoy would take only half their supplies as a fee, and everyone would be checked for hidden water monkeys before entering. People grumbled, but lined up. Nobody wanted to challenge 2 sequencers. I grabbed Dajuan's arm and walked straight through the gap without stopping. Dajuan asked nervously if we needed to be checked. Why bother? No one's going to stop me, I said. Some convoy members tried to block us, but the suited man held them back with a look. We walked right through. I could feel the suited man watching my back as I passed.